everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. If you're new to the show, this is the show where we talk a lot of sports. All sports. We talk baseball, basketball, football, every very, very blue moon, we talk hockey. But we talking with comedians. And the first up is we talk about a lot of comics. We talk to a lot of comics and everything else. And these comics have been in the game for a very long time. Speaking of which, my man Talent isn't able to join us today because he's traveling. My man Rodney Perry is also traveling. You know how comics on the road. But my man known as Fig, he is in today. Fig, how you doing today, brother? How's everything?
What's up, man? I'm traveling next week.
Yeah. That's because you're always traveling. Comics are always traveling. But also sitting in for some of the fellas today is the comedian known as Mike Sean. Mike, how you doing, brother? How's everything?
I am excellent. I'll be traveling tomorrow. Shout to Talent, Rodney Perry. Hope safe travels to all the homies.
Yes, most definitely. Let's get the show started, man. I always start the show off with talking about the COVID report. As you guys, if you're familiar watching the show, that's how we kick things off. And we've been talking about the Olympics, all week. Thought they were going to get canceled at the last minute. The Olympics ended up kicking off. They had a really crazy ceremony, Fig, and I'm going to start off with you because there was no fans in attendance. I watched, a little bit of it with one eye open because I was half asleep. But it was so boring, and there was nobody there. I'm just like, I don't think it's going to be the same thing because most athletes prepare and, with fans in the audience. I don't know how you prepare to compete with no fans in the audience. I don't understand it. But Fig, talk to me. What you think?
It's just weird, man. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why they're putting it on. Maybe it's the advertising dollars and stuff like that, man. But with the safety issues at hand, I can't believe that they still having this thing, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I agree. Mike, with Tokyo very upset they even having it. What's your thoughts that, we still moving forward with the Olympics?
Yeah, I want everybody who gives us the COVID protocol to really stop talking that nonsense. Listen, Tokyo said if they didn't have it, I think my numbers might be off. If they don't have spectators, they'll lose like $3 billion. But if they canceled it all together, they lose like $7 billion. So guess what? COVID to hell. They're like, we're throwing this. So everybody take their chances. I just want to know what we're going to do with the athletes when they come back. Does everybody go into a bubble for whatever amount of time before they get to come to, the general population? I feel bad for the athletes because it's every 4 years they get their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. That's a great point. All right, let's move up to the next subject, man. And saw this last night. Couldn't wait to talk about it today, man. In NFL, Deondre Hopkins, I literally saw what he posted. He posted a tweet about basically saying if he's going to be forced to take the COVID-19 vaccination, he was literally seriously considering retiring from the NFL. And he immediately took it down. Fig, what's your thoughts with the NFL now forcing, first of all, what's your thoughts about DeAndre Hopkins, his thoughts about saying, I got to take this COVID vaccine and I don't want to do it. I'd really rather retire. What was your thoughts when you first heard about that, folks?
It's funny, man. Well, again, what was his name? There was a football player that retired because they wouldn't let him smoke weed. So I'm like, so what? You don't want to take the vaccine? You rather quit football? Then go ahead and quit, man. Let me tell you, there are lines and lines and lines and lines and lines of people who are willing to take your spot. So go ahead and quit. Just quit, man. We ain't gonna miss you.
Mike, I think by him saying that he's thinking about quitting, it sets a whole thought process for other players in the NFL, especially for suing possibilities. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on this whole thing, Mike? What you think?
I want to say this from a person who did take the vaccine. If a black man does not trust the U.S. government and a vaccine is being sent out to people, I cannot begrudge him. There's a long list of proof on why a black man in this country wouldn't want to take a vaccine that's getting pushed down their throat. I took it because once they told me I could get my parents sick or I can get my kids sick, that's my kryptonite. You got me. Mm-hmm. To this moment, I still, when I say my prayers at night, I say a little prayer like, God, I hope I made the right decision. But if a black man doesn't trust this government, guess what? I can't begrudge him, and I can't just shrug it off like, oh, he has no reason not to. No, he's got a laundry list of reasons not to.
Yeah.
Got a laundry list. Like there's a little thing that, a Tuskegee thing that happened. There's a little thing that crack was put into Los Angeles, and they said, no, the CIA didn't do that. They didn't put crack in there to fund a war that was illegal. And then this little thing called slavery. And there's a few little things that when a black man says he doesn't trust it, guess what? I go like, you know what? I understand.
Yeah, I'm wholeheartedly with you on that. The business bully has joined the conversation today. First
bully.
Of all, the show. I appreciate you, Dave. Dave, what's your thoughts, man, on the conversation right now? What happened basically about DeAndre Hopkins? First of all, I'm gonna dive into the conversation a little bit deeper. But first, the thing is up in arms, and he's like, listen, he posted a tweet saying, "I'm not interested in taking this tweet. If I have to, I might seriously consider retiring." And then he took it down. What's your thoughts?
I think he took it down out of pressure, but I'm 100% with him. Simply because of all the things Michael Sean said and a couple of others. First of all, when in U.S. history have they ever given black people free health care and put us at the front of the line, made us a priority? Get the out of here. It's just number one. Like, first of all, if you cared about black people's health, number one, you would outlaw every single fast food joint within a 35-mile radius. If you cared about black people's health, your ass would make sure that, what did Chris Rock say? Make the bullets $5,000. Like, there's a shit ton of things that needs to be done in the black community in order to make sure that black people's health care is a priority. On top of that, let's just deal with the fact that they're trolling out this black woman and say, well, Dr. Kizzy, she made the vaccine, so that makes it all right. And I'm like, y'all know this is the same exact playbook. I feel like I'm in the Water Boy. You know how he took the playbook and then Coach Klein ran with the playbook? This is the same playbook. There's a woman named Eunice Rivers Laurie. Look her up. She was the black woman that the U.S. government put in front of black people and said, oh, no, this is free health care. Listen, you can trust Eunice. She's a nurse. She wouldn't steer you wrong. She's black. I don't trust an mRNA recombinant still listed as experimental everywhere. Why the hell would I trust that? Not to mention, screw everything I just said. Why in the world, if Johnson & Johnson can't keep baby powder from killing my baby mama, why in the hell am I going to trust them with a pandemic cure?
Oh, hilarious. All right, the next thing is, man, the crazy thing about that is that opened up the door for people. Everything he said was absolutely 100.
And after a black man says all that, white people will say, yeah, but come on, this time is going to be different.
Yeah, they all, yeah. But that opened up the door to, obviously, the next conversation. It opened up the door to, for the NFL immediately put out a couple of so-called bylaws that the NFLPA is not enforcing. They're saying that, the NFL is saying that if you do not take this vaccine and you get caught by not taking the vaccine and your team ends up losing some players and everything else, and then obviously you can't play this week, and then your team ended up to have to forfeit the game, don't have to lose the game. We will forfeit the game, you will lose, and everybody on both sides of the ball, on both teams, will lose a game check. That came out immediately after DeAndre Hopkins obviously made that post and everything else. Fig, you think that's coincidence on how the NFL is standing up right now about this? You all better take the vaccine.
At the end of the day, the NFL is a business. The NFL owners run the business. The guys who own the team, they run the business. So they're saying, if we don't make money, you don't make money. That's business.
Yeah.
You cancel the game. There's no fans. There's no endorsements. There's no product. There's no TV money. There's no money. So we're going to pay you because you made a personal decision? I don't think so. This is a business. We're in the business of making money. If we don't make money, we're not going to pay you. So go ahead with your decision.
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly what happened. Mike, talk to me. Do you agree or disagree with what's going on with the NFL's decision? Because also, I got to also throw this caveat out there. The NFL has also said that the NFLPA has not agreed with the decision that the NFL is going to say because of a whole bunch of reasons. Too long for me to get here. But the NFLPA, which is the Players Association, they're not condoning that.
And thank you for saying that. Shout out to Stephen A. Fig. Listen. This is where the propaganda begins. You want to punish both teams, right? Both teams will lose their game check. Even if the other team did the correct thing, they're going to lose their game check. But in this, one of the teams, whoever is the one that forfeits, will take care of the money lost by the other owner.
Right.
They will take care of that. So it's funny how the players on both sides, even if they did nothing wrong, will lose a check. But the owners will be covered by the other owner. So if we lose money out and your team was the one who did it, you'll pay for our ticket losses, our merchandising losses. Hell no, the Players Association shouldn't agree to this. And this is just another bully tactic. I think they are correct. In one aspect, I think the game should be forfeited by the team that didn't get the vaccination. But how are you going to punish both sides of the coin if the other team followed protocol and they didn't fail? They actually didn't cause the COVID situation. But the owners, again, have covered themselves. Like, their money is going to be all good.
Whoa.
All right, but
can I just say one thing? I didn't know that part. So
yeah,
I'm all for what he just said, because that is a little wrinkle that I didn't know about. All I heard about is what I said. I didn't know what Mike said. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that. I don't like that.
All right. Now, the business bully. I'm gonna throw this out to you too, man. Check this out. There are only 16 teams that are 85% vaccinated, and it's 32 teams in the NFL. So that's basically half of the NFL is on board with this. The other half is not on board with this. So I see a civil war, so to speak, type of thing getting ready to happen in the NFL. But that's just my immediate thoughts. I could see a whole lot more issues happening, especially with 16 teams on board. But what's your thought?
I mean, you got to remember that the government does pay a significant amount of money to the NFL by way of the armed services and all that flag propaganda. So it doesn't surprise me that this is something that's being pushed. On top of that, I really wish black people would understand that there are other options. You know, there is a black-owned football league now. Dwayne Johnson bought the XFL. It's not as if you don't have another place to go. You know, and I mean, before people say, well, that's a little bit ridiculous and this, that, and the third. Yo, this dude has played a white man at the box office and everybody bought it. Idris Elba can't even pick up a James Bond script without white people losing their minds. I think The Rock could pull it off. I don't think that you have to do everything the NFL says. And as far as the NFLPA is concerned, they're supposed to be the union. So, yeah, like if half of these folks are saying, yeah, no, I'm not with it, then we need to take heed to that. And I don't think that anything that constitutes what I would feel is a HIPAA violation, meaning you don't need to know my medical status at any given time. That's the law. Should be anything that should be involved with my paycheck. But you know what the hell do I know? I only own business.
Listen, there's so many lines crisscrossing there. I know this. I know that there's going to be if something happens and the team loses or has to forfeit a game, I can foresee. Hell, Stevie Wonder can foresee a whole bunch of lawsuits getting ready to happen on personal play back. You know what I mean? I mean, I could just see it's getting ready to create a whole big mess. I think it's a great idea for the forfeit thing, but to take everybody's checks on both sides of the ball on both teams, that's what, to me, you crossed the line. But it even opened up the door for another situation I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna throw it to you, Fig. This is another situation happening. Now, the NFLPA is also dealing with what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Okay, Deshaun Watson is now having issues because now the NFLPA and the NFL committee is now sitting there saying, you know what? He's going to have to sit down for a whole year because we have not – training camp opens up in 2 weeks for your team, and we have not resolved this issue of what's going on for the misdemeanors, not serious crimes, the misdemeanors of these women that they have accused him of. Deshaun Watson's about to lose a whole year of checks off of this, Fig. What's your thoughts?
So they're not going to put him on the commissioner's exempt list so that he gets paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a Texas thing, man. This is a racist Texas thing. And yeah, there's something real wrong with that because they had plenty of time to do their due diligence in their investigation. And just because you didn't do it, that means that I got to suffer. You could have went and interviewed all of these women. You could have got this resolved a long time ago. We've been talking about this, I would imagine, since last season. So what are we talking about? 4 months, 5 months? And you mean to tell me you couldn't do no investigation to find out whether this misdemeanor was, valid or not? You couldn't interview these women. You couldn't find out whether this was a real case or whether it was just a money grab. You couldn't figure that out? Nah, man. I'm not going for it.
Mike,
I'm not going for it.
Mike,
No,
have you ever thought in your wildest dreams that massages would cost so much? I mean, let's be honest. Have you ever thought in your wildest dreams you would have 40 massages and they would cost so much? You would lose millions. Come on, man.
The conspiracy is not, let me take that word back. The whole plot behind this, and I'm sure you guys talked about it when it first happened. I don't know how long you guys have been doing the show, but the lawyer that actually brought this case against Deshaun Watson just happened to be neighbors with the Houston, Texas owners. He lived next door. So this whole thing is bizarre. That it didn't come out to Deshaun Watson decided, I am not playing with y'all ever again. Then all of a sudden, the masseuses came out, the clear blue sky. Everybody came out, and the lawyer who lived next to the owner was the one who handled the case. This is garbage. And I will say this once again, the NFL may have the weakest union I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
I've never seen a union be manipulated and bullied since the days of Gene Upshaw. Upshaw being the actual president of the union. At some point, the union is gonna have to say this, and I know this is a little off topic. The union is gonna have to tell their players, everybody get your money together, because in 3 years we're going on strike. Just know, and every rookie that comes in, just know in 3 years we're going on strike, and we're gonna reorganize and get the rights that we should have with this $1 trillion business. But they have to plan 3 years ahead of time. So I don't want to hear any players talking about, well, I'm not financially ready. You got 3 years. And we will give you financial advisors that will help you put your money away, even for the rookies who come into the league each of those years. Because in 3 years, every contract will be guaranteed. And we will stop being bullied by these racist Trump voting owners every single year when they decide to push back against the players that give up their lives. And this is the one sport they do give up their lives with CTE, and we see these players killing themselves and shooting themselves in the heart, not the head, because of the damage that's been done by playing this game. And now I'm off my soapbox. Sorry, y'all.
Yo, man, I want Mike Sean to be the head of the comedy union.
The comedy union, let's go.
All right, the business bully. Let me throw this to you, man. I said before I threw it to Mike, I said a very expensive massage. Now the actual charges is that 2 or 3 of the masseuses saw his penis, and they were sitting there saying that we shouldn't have because he got up and he moved. He didn't disagree with all of that. He ain't disagree with all that. But honestly, bro, to miss the entire NFL season because 2 women, when you were getting a massage, so I think it crosses the line. Maybe it's just me. But I just see like it's a conspiracy theory also against this brother who's sitting up there. He will miss the entire season. He will. There's no doubt about it. It starts in a week and a half. He's headed down the path of getting ready to miss the entire season. And what's worse, the business bully, what's worse is there are talks for him not even being on the commissioner's exempt list with him getting paid. Talk to me.
Wow. Well, here's the rub, Frank. I think it's
shut up. Shut your ass up.
What? I mean, when you take a hands-on approach to this situation, what you'll find is that number one, this brother has been set up from the get up. Like it's weird to me when you look into the charges. The accusers are saying all of these things. They're saying that they wanted him. He wanted them to put their fingers near his crotch and then concentrate on the inner anal area and all of this whole weird stuff. There are approximately 36,000 massages given in the United States every single day. 63% of them are done naked. People don't have to have their pants on, so that's not a weird thing. Even if you turn over, they lift the towel up, they might get a glimpse of something, right? My question is, while we're focusing on Mr. Watson, how come we're not focusing on Robert Kraft's freaky deaky shit when it comes to massages?
Good point.
That's just where I am with it. It's funny that when a player is getting ready to come to the Eagles, all of a sudden the owner of the Houston Texans magically says, "Oh no, just ask for the minimum in your lawsuits." I'm not saying that he's covering them and paying them to do this nonsensical bullshit, because it's nonsensical bullshit. But I mean, common sense needs to kick in someplace here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And without a shadow of a doubt, I think something's going to happen. Something should happen. But him getting backdoored right now, now no pun intended, but him
be careful when you get around there, Frank.
Hold on, but Frank, can we just say one thing about Deshaun? I'm 100% in his corner. But Deshaun Watson did some dumb-ish.
Yeah.
Like Deshaun Watson was going to get his massages at apartment complexes. Like, come on, Deshaun. Like, what are we doing here, right? You're making your appointments through people's Instagram DMs, Deshaun.
But that's not even the worst part. Is the worst part I think out of all of this is I know a lot of people when they get massages, they use the exact same person. I find it really hard that Deshaun would use 32, 35, whatever the number is. I find it really hard that he would use so many because once you get one who's really good, you stick with that person. Unless that, like Chandler said a month ago or whatever we last talked about, unless it really is a prostitution ring going on and I didn't know about it. You know what I mean? Unless that's what it is.
You know there's a problem when you get a massage and there are kids running around. Like, you know you shouldn't be there at that point. Like, come on, you in people's apartments?
Listen, when it comes to massages, like they say, variety is the spice of life.
Okay. There you go. That's the good thing. Now that opens up the door to the next thing I want to talk about because we talked about it a couple of days ago, man. I found out, I read a quick blurb on the New York Times this morning. The same author who put out this investigation, he's doing an investigation on Brooklyn Nets, and he's going in on them. He's contacted the NBA and everything else. He is trying to help push for some kind of forfeiture for the Brooklyn Nets to lose something. Now, right now, if the Brooklyn Nets get found guilty remember I mentioned this the other day. If you missed it, this is what the topic was. The topic was the Brooklyn Nets got busted by an author who's writing a book that the Brooklyn Nets have been buying certain things for side chicks and for their friends of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and all these other players. They're trying to buying them equipment pieces and getting extra Nikes and all the other stuff, doing all the things of the above. Now there's an investigation of it. Comes to find out it's going against the NBA bylaws. If they get found guilty, they could lose several draft picks. Not only be fined millions of dollars, they could be fined several draft picks. The Brooklyn Nets. We all know Brooklyn can't afford to lose no draft picks because they leveraged the entire future for now. What's your thoughts on this, Fig?
Man, this sounds like college to me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can't buy stuff for the players and their families and stuff like that. In college, they've been doing stuff like this for years. I'm gonna buy commit to this school and I'm gonna buy your mama a house, or we're gonna get your uncle a car, or your uncle is gonna get a job at the university and he's gonna come with you to the university and all you got to do is play. You know what I mean? And your uncle will have a big time job and stuff like this. Now we're doing this on a professional level where we have billionaires and trillionaires giving multimillionaires millions of dollars in perks and planes and gifts and stuff like that. You can have your entourage, your cousin to get a job, your uncle will get a job, your girlfriend gonna get this. That's dumb. This is dumb.
But Fig, there's one thing you forgot to mention. When they're buying stuff for people in college, that's illegal.
Yes, that's illegal.
The whole concept of it. Listen, concept of it. Here's the point. Why the whole concept of it is dumb to me is for one specific reason. Does it help you win games? Does it give the other team a disadvantage? Like, is it cheating? You still got to go on the court and play the game. What if I bought your girlfriend a house or a condo or something like that? What does that got to do with the integrity of the game?
All right, but I'm going to throw it to Mike, and I'm going to answer your question, Fig, but I'm going to throw it to Mike. The question is, the bigger schools could give out bigger gifts. So that's why
we're talking about the NBA. The NBA.
Okay. All right. So, Mike, talk to me. What's your thoughts on this?
Number one, for the NBA, why it has to be illegal, because none of that is being kept under the salary cap. So they are cheating. So if I'm buying your side chick a $2 million apartment or condo, it's not getting put against the salary cap. Only your contract is. So that's why it does put other teams at a disadvantage. Number two, I always like to take responsibility for my own actions. And I just want to tell these players something. When you let an owner buy your side chick and know your business, you're opening yourself up to be extorted.
Right.
If you have a wife and you have kids, and you literally have made a deal with your employee that they know all your business like that.
Very true.
The day you try and renegotiate your contract, or the day you said, I'm leaving, they're going to say, oh, word. Well, let me see if I leak this story out about your side chick's been living around the corner from the stadium for the past 5 years. Or let me leak the fact that so-and-so has been, all three of your side chicks have been living, and your wife of 15 years is now going to find out, and now she can take that to the divorce settlement. Players. Come on, let's get a little smarter now. Don't let an owner control you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just ridiculous. I know we joked about it yesterday, and we had a bunch of side chick jokes, and it was hilarious. But some of y'all got to be kidding me right now that you're trying to get in your contract that a chick you're smashing out on the side needs to be part of the deal. Like, that's ridiculous, y'all.
Bro, that's the best point I heard all week, bro, honestly, because that is the truth. If you're giving the NBA owners that much power, you are in some serious trouble. The business bully. Talk to me, because you had some, what was it, the flex slut account?
I stand by that. I do.
Brother, I'm still laughing about that. Holla at me.
All right, so here's the thing that no one's talking about, Frank. Gentlemen, I contend that we spend so much time rearing our children to become sensational athletes. When I went to Temple University, they had classes called physics for the non-physics major, aka football physics, where their tutor, who was always fine as shit, would come with them and take the class with them. And then, you know, I'm not saying that they didn't show up for the test, the athletes. I'm just saying that maybe the tutors might have taken a couple of tests. Here's the thing. We focus on the NFL, we focus on the MLB, we focus on the NBA, but we never teach the players any type of financial literacy. And the most important letters that no one has ever taught these players is NDA, non-disclosure agreement. You get that thing ironclad and you put a $10 million penalty in that bad boy. It's amazing how many legs open and mouths shut when those NDAs get signed. Listen, Chappelle was onto it with that love contract. That's what you need to do, but we're not teaching that. We're teaching, let the NBA handle it so they can find another way to jam a finger up your behind as if you're, oh, wait, that was the last story. Never mind. Go ahead.
I ain't playing with you. That better be the last finger in the ass reference from you. That's the last one for you, business bully.
All right, but let me continue on moving on the story. But the next thing is, I'm gonna come back to the NBA, NFL and stuff. But I had to throw this out there too, man. The Cleveland Indians changed their name officially to the Cleveland Guardians, and one of the worst names I thought that I heard. I wanted to mention it real fast because I was like, that don't make no sense to me, especially if the Washington football team, which is also before they used to be the Washington Redskins, if they can't change the name to something more reasonable, how does the Cleveland Guardians, how that sound? Think how that sound to you? Cleveland Guardians? I'm upside down with that one.
It sounds like a movie title, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what
it is. That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like.
The Guardian Angels. That's what they're gonna be. They're gonna be the Guardian Angels, and they're gonna hire Curtis Sliwa as the GM. That's what that's gonna be. Man, the Guardians, really? That's what we're doing? And what a name, man. That's a horrible name.
Yeah, it really is, Mike. It's a horrible name because the Guardians of the Galaxy were at least winning. You know what I'm saying? They were winning.
At least we're winning. That name is so bad. They were Indians that said, you know what? Just stick with Indians, y'all. Like, just don't come on. The Cleveland Guardians. I don't, it's so bad. I don't have a joke for it. Like, I can't even search for it. Like, Cleveland, come on, man. Like, anything. The Cleveland, I don't know. The Lions, I don't know, man. That is horrible. And actually, real quick, that Washington football team, I'm starting to get used to that.
Yeah, because it's been around for a year and a half.
Yeah, I realize I'm starting to get like, why change it now? Just stick with it. Like, you sound like a soccer team, but just stick with it at this point.
The business bully, talk to me. What you think about that?
Listen, man, it's kind of like when you were a kid and they'd send your report card to your house. It's like to the parent or guardian of Dave Anderson. Like, nobody, if you don't have somebody who wants to like take ownership of you, like that's what it sounds like to me. It's like, oh, I'm their guardian. Like, why don't you just call them the Cleveland Wards? No, nobody wants them. They can't buy a win. You know, you can't say, Cleveland displaced indigenous people because that doesn't look good on a jersey. Like, why don't you just throw in the whole damn team?
Yo, that's a great idea, though. Cleveland Wards. I love that a whole lot better than Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, Cleveland Guardians. I like that a whole lot better. That's just me.
The Cleveland Wards.
Yeah,
but somebody's going to be offended by that. There's going to be some type there. The Wards.
Maybe. Yeah, the people who are actually wards are going to be the ones who are offended.
Good point, Vic. Yeah, that probably is. The people who are wards of the state.
Probably. All right, let me throw the next topic out there. I'm gonna jump back to the NBA real fast because I heard an interesting story this morning. I heard that Kawhi Leonard literally is being told that Kawhi Leonard's camp and everything is pushed out. We're 50-50. So the thought is that he's 50-50 on coming back. Now, I thought that he was definitely coming back. I thought it was 90-10, 95-10 that he's coming back. But for it to leak out that he's 50-50, I think that Kawhi Leonard is exploring his other options if he opts out this year. That's what I think he's doing. What's your thoughts, Big?
I think he's exploring other options. You know, Kawhi Leonard is really he's really suspicious of teams and their medical staff. And the Clippers medical staff, they botched the diagnosis of his injury, man, to his knee. And they said that it wasn't a torn ligament. It was something like a sprained knee, I think they called it. And you know, that's how he got out of San Antonio, because they botched his diagnosis, man. He is very leery of medical staff, just like a lot of people are leery of this whole vaccination with black people and stuff like that. Maybe he'll end up on the Lakers with LeBron and AD.
Maybe, but one place I know he won't be going to, Mike, is the Brooklyn Nets, since they got caught.
Hey, he won't be going to Brooklyn.
He won't be going to Brooklyn.
All right, let me tell you, Kawhi, you have mastered getting away with a lot of ish lately. Like, really. Like, San Antonio, I was all for you when they were getting. Now you got your own medical team. You can afford your own medical team. So now it's the Clippers medical team that didn't look out for you. Now, Toronto's medical team looked out for you, but you left their asses too. So now it's 50-50. If LeBron James would do this every year, they'd be destroying LeBron James right now. Like, Kawhi, dog, you are that dude. Like, you are. I think the Clippers would have went to the finals, but enough's enough.
Yeah,
like,
you know what? You're
enough.
Mike, you're absolutely right. If LeBron had did this every year, skipped the team to team, yes, he'd be destroyed. He'd be the least liked athlete of his time. The business bully. Talk to me. Do you like what Kawhi has now said 50-50 on his thoughts of staying with the Clippers?
Listen, man, I mean, I feel like Ray Charles and anybody who even like, I think my 6-year-old can understand that this man is not coming back to the Clippers. I think it's very creative, everything that he's done. He's like Jamie Farr on MASH, right, where he dresses up like a woman in order to get out of a situation. Like, every time there's all of these things that get him out of situation after situation after situation. So if he comes back to the Clippers, I will be really shocked, because he's not for it.
You know,
I love the strategy though. I gotta tell you, it's creative.
Yeah, I do too. I love what his strategy is, and I'll say this for the record: I think he's smarter than everybody's even assuming that he is. You know what I mean? I think this dude is brilliant, to be honest with you, because he does everything low key. He just does. He just does. He doesn't do the publicizing thing. He does not on social media. He doesn't do all that. That's why I think he's great at doing what he's doing.
No, he's sneakily disrespectful. Sneakily respectful dudes, and nobody even catches on to it, because the Clippers leverage their entire future, and he's about to be out.
Right, but to the team, he's disrespectful to the team.
Yeah, to the team, exactly.
Yeah, but to him and his family and everything else, he puts them first and foremost. That's what he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next up, man, is fake. I just heard this morning, I saw an article that Miami, New York Knicks, and the Dallas Mavericks are putting forward a lot of conversations to have and see if they can woo Chris Paul if Chris Paul opts out of his Phoenix Suns contract. I know that was going to bother you because Chris Paul is 37. He's not where he used to be, but these teams are really going after him. And it might be, it literally might get into a thing where they're trying to outbid each other for him if he opts out. What's your thoughts on this, Vic?
Man, Frank, you're not supposed to depress me on a Friday, man. I mean, this is the last show of the week, man. Come on. Listen, I think Chris Paul will do great on the Lakers, possibly the Sixers. I mean, I doubt very seriously that he'll end up on the Knicks, simply because at this stage of Chris Paul's career, he's possibly, I would imagine he's looking very hard at a championship and not so much all of the money. I know he wants his money, but I think he's really going to look for a team championship. Will he work with Dallas? I don't know. I don't think they're right there. I think his best bet would be the Lakers. I see the other teams up there, man, but Miami, New York, Dallas. Is he going to win a championship in Miami? Is he going to win a championship in Dallas? New York? No. He better go hang out with LeBron and AD if he wants to win a championship.
Mike, I'm gonna throw it to you, and I'm gonna say this: the thought scares me with him and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo on the same team on Miami Heat, and then of course they got Tyler Hero there because they're not losing anybody. You know, this is not a trade. This is literally him opting out and then signing him with the team that they have now. What's your thoughts on that?
You just I had a different opinion, but when you mentioned that about Miami, I got to give you, that they could really do some damage with him. I think Fig mentioned the Sixers. If the Sixers could pull that off, I think that would be great. It's just getting to the point where right now, and I'm not criticizing them because if I was in this situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing. This is a real desperate ring chase now. Like you just went to the NBA Finals with the Suns and won 6 games, so you would think a little adjustment, you add another piece to the Suns and you stay right there, you would think they'd be right in the mix again. So he's going to go run and chase. Listen, does anybody remember that Gary Payton won a ring? Anybody remember? No.
Yeah, in Miami with Dwayne Wade and Shaq. Yeah.
But Fig, we don't even think about Gary Payton winning a championship. There's a bunch of guys that won championships that they got the championship ring that we don't even think about. We're going to think Gary Payton is what? A supersonic his entire life. Right, so go ahead, Chris. Go knock yourself out and go get this ring with the Lakers. Go get it and win.
What the business bully? I'm gonna say this to you. Him going to Miami is akin to him going to Phoenix, except Miami had a better team right now than Phoenix had last year at this exact same moment. You know what I mean? If you used to put them together, Bam Adebayo, I think is a better center than Ayton.
I don't know, Frank. I don't know about that.
Everybody has their own opinion. You know what I mean? But I like if you had to put me, if you had to put me there, Bam Adebayo is definitely a better scorer on the box. They're the same type of player, but you also have Jimmy Butler, which is akin to basically the same thing that they have with Booker. But the other thing is that what Phoenix didn't have that Miami has is they have Tyler Hero. They got a shooter. They got Bogdan in there too. They got 2 great shooters that can shoot the lights out that Phoenix did not have. So if he switches over to go from one team to another, I think it's a better position for him. I don't know. That's just me. What you think?
Well, here's why I disagree. 1, because I think you're smoking crack. 2, because I think that we don't take time to realize that it takes time to gel with a new team. You know, Michael Sean understands this because, he's done radio just about as long as I have. There's a certain amount of gelling you have to do with your coworkers. And I think what Chris Paul needs to do is figure out a way to make it work where he is. Sometimes folks get real close to that brass ring and then all of a sudden they want to start getting itchy because they see the writing on the wall. We still regard Charles Barkley as an icon. Say what you want. He never won a chip. But, there's a difference between doing stuff just to chase the ring or building a dynasty there. I think Chris Paul might have, if we stretch it out, give him a series of Bengay, Icy Hot, Ice Pack protocols that he could probably get another 2 seasons out and hammer it out with the Suns if they put the right pieces in place where he could actually create a franchise that could win. I don't think he needs to hop all over the place. It takes too much work.
I agree with you. But
and Frank, Tyler Hero might be overrated.
He might be, but I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. But here's the problem. And nobody knows this, is he chasing money first and then the ring? Because if he stays with Phoenix, they have to restructure his contract because, as we said, as Fig mentioned the other day, and it's very true, is he's literally on contract to get $44 million, and Phoenix cannot pay him that. They got to rewrite the contract and everything else. He has to opt out, re-sign again, everything else. So once he opts out, teams with more money can offer him things. Now, is he chasing the money and then the ring? That's the question.
Well, Frank, and real quick, do you really think it's good to have Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler in the same locker room? Do you really think they're not going to butt heads on whose team this is when he gets there?
I think they will. I think they will. But I also think if you got 2 top dogs like that and you got them in your backcourt, it makes you a better team too.
Listen. I don't know if you see the report, but Bam Adebayo just got into it with Kevin Durant on the USA Olympic team. So now we got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and Chris Paul on the same team. Man, listen, they ain't gonna win a game.
They're gonna win some fights though.
Yeah, but there'll be some things that they win and lose and everything. But speaking of top dogs, Fig, you ready to do the top dog segment we do every Friday?
Man, let me knock this top, man. It was tough, man, trying to find 5 top dogs for this week. But listen, I got the top dogs. I want y'all to pay attention. Make it real quick. We got Tajay Pogar wins his second straight Le Tour de France, 22 years old, and he's a double. He's the youngest double Le Tour de France winner in history. Got my man Tajay Pogar. Number 2 on my list.
Right?
Wow, I'm
my man
impressed.
Giannis Antetokounmpo in game number 3. He knocked down 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, leading the Milwaukee Bucks to their first win on the road for this final series.
Okay.
My man Antetokounmpo. I got Colin Morikawa win the Golf Open Championship. It's his second major win, and he's only 24 years old.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this one was difficult.
I know it's difficult. It's the first time you read it.
Listen, don't worry about it.
And he wrote it.
The US, hey man, it's the USA female softball team beating Italy 2-0 in their second straight game in Olympic competition. And so far, they haven't allowed 1 run in either game. That's number 4. Last but not least, definitely not least, this is my top one, my top dog, is again, I got Giannis Antetokounmpo dominating game 6 to win the NBA Finals, the first one in 50 years, capturing the Finals MVP, dropping 50 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks, and shooting 17 for 19 of free throws at 90% clip. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a top dog.
All right, Fig. I love that list until you got to number 5. I was like, this is the best list I've heard. How does the same player be on the list twice?
And then because he played in 2 different games and dominated them both. This was the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
this
Fig.
NBA Finals is
Fig.
the most important games.
Fig, I understand all that. You
The
could've
most
just said that
important games
before.
for the entire month.
You could have did that with one line. Said Tampa was on top dogs because he did.
Yeah, well then you got the top dogs for the next week until next couple weeks until football season starts, and we'll criticize your picks.
Nah, that's all right. I'm not taking that job from you. About to do with that.
And you
I don't
forgot-
want it either.
You forgot Servier Jones, who went back-to-back ping pong championship. Like, he reached. The softball got me. Fig, you did your research when you got the softball joint.
Yeah,
I
he
give
did
you
great.
credit.
That was
I
the
give
best
you
one
credit.
until he came to number 5. If he had threw up there, what happened with the baseball game that happened the other night, that would have been like, man, especially
Man,
last.
I had the Le Tour de France.
Yeah, you had that was the best list.
Oh.
Number 5. All right, man.
Lord
Let me
have
go.
mercy.
Now let me continue on with this conversation. I'm gonna start with you, the business bully. I'm working my way backwards, man. Okay, Michael Thomas literally is upsetting when that's just being. Well, let me just be honest with you. He pissed off his entire team from the New Orleans Saints because he waited until now to get his ankle surgery when the camp opens up literally next week for New Orleans Saints. The entire team's upset. People are talking about it. Things have leaked out and everything else. And I also think it's going to hurt their chances of even trying to get Aaron Rodgers to come to the Saints too, because he's the number 1 wide receiver. When you hear Michael Thomas waited until what is it, July, and he's going to miss the first couple of games in the NFL season. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, he's stupid. Like, nobody, I'm not trying to be funny, and I know people don't like to hear this because of the stereotype of the dumb athletes, but we're not paying these people to be scholars. We're not sitting up here getting them to anyway try to splice the atom here. He didn't think. And wait, breaking news. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I'm getting this from Fig Sports Writer. Okay, apparently athletes do not think very often about the consequences of their actions. Film at 11. Of course they're pissed. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers might not say, you know what? No, because who's he going to throw to, bro? Who's he going to throw to? The Gatorade guy?
Exactly. He pissed off everybody, and he hurt their chances. Let's be honest, Mike. He hurt their chances. Literally, Tampa Bay got Tom Brady. You know, New Orleans was looking. They were sitting there saying, you know, we could create the same type of thing that we got here indoors and everything else. All we got to do is talk to Green Bay, see if we can woo them and everything else, work it out. Mike, I think literally Michael Thomas ruined the whole thing for them. What's your thought?
Michael Thomas must have read from the book of Scottie Pippen when he got his surgery. This is what happens. Now, this is not by coincidence, obviously. This is what happens when a player is still upset about a contract, which he signed,
right?
But feels like he should be making more and feels that he should be, because in his mind, he's the best receiver in the league. I don't agree with that, but I can see why he would think that. And look, they weren't getting Aaron Rodgers. If y'all think Green Bay was going to send Aaron Rodgers to New Orleans, they were not sending him there. But it's irresponsible. It's a ploy, and I'm sure his agent had something to do with the timing of this surgery.
You know, I think you're absolutely right. But let's be honest. If they were going to have conversations with Aaron Rodgers to be able to get him out, it's totally gone now. Fig, what's your thoughts?
Man, hey, listen, New Orleans is Green Bay's top rival. Ain't no way in hell they sending Aaron Rodgers to their top rival. It does scream of Scottie Pippen. It's the same thing Scottie Pippen did when he was on the Bulls, man. He waited until the beginning of the season, and then he got his surgery, which made, which they definitely knew he was going to be out. So I was screaming like, yo, what is the deal, man? Like, is this dude really mad at his contract? And obviously he is, man, because that is the only reason that you do it, is to stick it to the owners of the team.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If Aaron Rodgers did go there, you know who'd be going crazy? Jameis Winston would be like, how many times are these white boys going to leave and come take my job? Yeah. First Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, and then Aaron Rodgers comes to New Orleans. That poor boy, oh, Lord.
Yeah, man, I got a question, man. Is the business bully related to Dr. Umar Johnson? That's what I need to know. Because that's what he reminds me of.
Is Phil trying it right now?
No, he's not.
For Toucan Sam trying it right now? Is the third reject from the S-Curl box from 1986 trying it right now?
Next topic.
Can we get to the next topic?
Next topic, Frank.
No, I'm not related to Umar. I built the school and funded it myself.
Let me start. Let me give you the next time. I'm starting with you, the business bully. I'm gonna start with you. I just heard last night. I don't know if you guys even heard this story. Jerry Jones came out. He admitted for the first time in years. Came out and said, you know what? I would do anything for a Super Bowl, and I made a mistake with how I handled Jimmy Jones and everything else. First time he ever, if you guys know all about Jerry Jones, he don't admit no mistakes and everything else. I think he was 100%, honest when he said that. But damn it, dude. If you had put your pride in your pocket, you would have won a couple more Super Bowls back then and could have kept a dynasty that the Patriots ended up getting. That could have been yours way back. The business bully. Talk to me what you think about Jerry Jones.
Listen, having lived in Dallas for quite some time, I will tell you, Jerry Jones has mishandled so many players. I don't even think we had that much time. Jerry Jones mishandled Terrell Owens. Jerry Jones mishandled Pac-Man. Like, we could do this all day. Jerry Jones, if he spent a little less time trolling after black women in Dallas nightclubs and a little bit more. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something I actually saw with my own eyes for years out loud?
Wow.
If he actually spent a little bit more time focusing on what's happening, on his team, the Cowboys would still be America's team as opposed to America's punchline. When people think about Texas football now, they're either thinking of the University of Texas or they're thinking of Houston, because he's turned the Cowboys into a punchline, bro.
Honestly, I think you're right. I didn't know about the trolling women and everything else. I didn't know about that. Thank you for the scoop.
He loves the chocolate.
Right. Oh, I didn't know that. You're absolutely right. He gets in his own way and has been ever since he brought the Cowboys. Mike, talk to me.
He's right about that trolling. I've lived out in Dallas for like 8 years, but I'll co-sign that one. Jerry Jones, and he finally admitted his mistake. Yes, they were on their way to winning probably 4, maybe 5 Super Bowls. I will say this. Jerry Jones is a horrible general manager. But the fact that damn Cowboy Stadium and people come from all over the world to go to that stadium, I'm a Giant fan. When it comes to the business savvy of that team, it's amazing the money they make. So listen, the money that he's able to generate off that team is remarkable. And if you ever been to that stadium, I said I'm a Giant fan, but the day I walked in that stadium, my eyes got watery because I was like, this is absolutely amazing. They're not going to the Super Bowl. And the other thing, the Dallas Cowboys brand is so crazy that my thought process, the reason why the Mavericks can never get a top flight free agent is because no matter what you do with the Mavericks, you will never own the city.
Right.
Dirk Nowitzki literally could win a championship, and Quincy Carter will still outshine him. Like they run that. I've never seen a team run a city the way the Cowboys do.
Wow, I did not know that. Learn something new every day. Fig, talk to me.
2-2. Too little, too late. We should have kept Jimmy Johnson, man. Jimmy Johnson was the dude.
Yeah, he was.
Ego got in the way. He felt like he could do. It's like comedians always say. We make it look easy when we're on the stage, and we make it look so easy that anybody thinks that they can do it. Jimmy Johnson was also one of those dudes. He made winning look so easy that Jerry Jones thought that he could do it himself. And what did we at 25? We're at 25 years now. 25 years later, Jerry is just waking up from his dream, thinking that he could do the same damn thing that Jimmy Johnson did. No, you can't, Jerry.
I'll leave it with this. When he got Bill Parcells and he strapped Bill Parcells and didn't allow Bill Parcells to do what Bill Parcells does, I was like, dude, you signed your own death warrant. All right, go ahead.
Real quick, with Jimmy Johnson. Great coach, amazing coach. But let's remember, they won those championships before there was a salary cap.
That's true.
So it was a lot easier to get a bunch of players on your team, and when you needed a Dion, you could pay for a Dion. You needed any extra help, you could always pay for it. Once the salary cap came, remember, he did go to Miami, Jimmy Johnson, and failed.
Yeah, he did.
Because it was a salary cap issue. So there is a difference. Jerry Jones is still an idiot when it comes to this, but there was different circumstances when they built those teams back then.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, Business Bully, thank you for joining the show, man. We got to wrap this thing up. Before we leave, please tell everybody else what you got going up and how they can follow you.
Absolutely, man. You can follow me at The Business Bully. My latest book is in stores everywhere right now. It's called Sell It Like Jesus, Principles and Strategies of the World's Greatest Salesman. So make sure you check that out.
Brother, I am going to have to look for that book. I just love the title. I didn't even know you was a book author. Learn something new. I'm a book author too. Didn't even know that. Learn something new. Mike, talk to me. Tell me how they can follow you, bro.
At Mike Sean Comedy, August 8th, I'm back at the Arlington Improv. So make sure you get those tickets. Arlington Improv. I'm rocking out at Mike Sean Comedy on all social media platforms.
I need to thank both Business Bully and Mike Sean for sitting in for Talent and Fig. Thank you all. Talent and Roddy Perry. Thank you both for sitting in. I really appreciate that. Fig, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, man, I appreciate these guys coming in too, because if it wasn't, it would have just been me and Frank, and that would have been awful. So thank you, both of you guys, for helping to tell this. You can follow me at Comedian Fig on social media platforms, man. Got all my stuff up, all the shows that I'll be doing and stuff. And we'll be down next weekend. We'll be down in Atlantic City celebrating Talent's 30th comedy anniversary, man. That's going to be hot. And you always know, box seats, Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. This is the best damn sports show on TV, because we got the Business Bully and Mike Sean, Rodney Perry, Talent, your boy Fig. And
thank you for my clothes, and I appreciate you, Fig. Hey, everybody out there watching, I appreciate you all for watching. The Business Bully sat in today. Mike sat in today. Again, thank you guys for doing the show. I appreciate you guys. Fig is there. Roddy Perry will be back next week. Talent will be back next week. We're going to start the whole thing all over again. I hope these two guys can join next week, because we got a lot more follow-ups to talk about, and I can only imagine what's going to happen in Brooklyn. Y'all don't even know. We got some guests coming in next week. Got some interviews. You know what we do. Until then, enjoy the weekend. Be safe. We will see y'all Monday. Peace.